Hello, and welcome to almost the halfway point of Meteorology 105. Um, Next week will actually be the end of the first 8 weeks, and we will be halfway through the class. And I wanted to just touch base with you and go over our first real project type assignment. Our labs are going to shift to a little more project based and a little less calculation based, which I'm sure some of you will greatly appreciate. I'm going to share my screen and go to our meteorology homepage. And when you open this up, by the time you're watching this video, there should be a little link there that tells you there's the video for this. But I'm going to go down to the modules, maybe, and you'll notice we are finishing up week 7, and there wasn't anything in week 7, 8, and that's because we are going to be getting ready to do our weather journal for module 9. And I'm going to open this up. And when you open up the weather journal, there is a Word document file. And there's also a video I made during COVID spring when I had to teach from home. And then it has the instructions down here and kind of the table and rubric. This stuff down here and the information of the Word document are the same. The Word document just looks a little cleaner in my opinion. But you probably heard people say the weatherman's wrong all the time, or they lie all the time, or you can be wrong all the time and still keep your job, et cetera, et cetera. So we're actually just going to test that hypothesis. And so what you're going to do is keep a weather journal for 10 days. So you're going to need to start by like Tuesday, and then you're gonna do the math and see how often the weather forecaster is actually wrong. I am going to download the Word file because the tables come out cleaner. Canvas doesn't like the tables. Maybe open the Word file, and I will. There we go. Let's stop the share and patiently wait for the document to open. Maybe. Well, maybe the document isn't. There we go. And share over to the Word document. There we go. So they're due October 17th. That is with the module 9 work, discussion questions, and other homework and readings. So your first step is going to be to determine your forecast area. It's probably a lot larger than you think it is. For those of us in the Dodge City area, it's a significant portion of the west part of the state. And then you're going to use a website or weather app and record a 10-day forecast and record the entire 10-day forecast when you start your weather journal. And you're going to use this to see how accurate a long range forecast is versus a 24-hour, 48-hour forecast. And most 10-day forecasts, as you get a few days out, just give the high and low temperatures and maybe a chance of precipitation, if that's in the forecast. And then what you're going to do is record the forecast for the next day, the 24-hour forecast, and then you're going to have to do that part every day. So if you started it tomorrow, you'd record the 24-hour forecast for Sunday, and then on Sunday you record the forecast for Monday, and so on and so forth. And then you're going to record what actually happened, the actual daily weather, the high, low temperature, precipitation, humidity, windy, cloudy, sunny, etc. And there's kind of a sample data table towards the bottom. And then after the 10 days, you need to analyze the data. Consider high and low temperatures within 5 degrees to be accurate. Again, a forecast area is pretty large, and it's entirely possible that there's a few degrees temperature difference in the span of 50 miles. And then the last step is to write a 250 to 300 word reflection, basically saying what you've learned. Identify your local forecast office and the size of your forecast area. Discuss the accuracy of the 10-day and 24-hour forecast. Explain how the probability of precipitation is actually calculated. That's something a lot of people misunderstand. And if precipitation was predicted, was it accurate? And discuss at least 3 things that you learned while doing your weather journal. Then down here, I have a sample table. You do not have to set it up in a table like this. You can just keep log entries. That's fine. I just set it up this way so you could get an idea of what's going on. So if I opened up the weather app today, I would fill in the 10-day column right now. So tomorrow, October 1st, October 2nd, et cetera, and then I would give the 24-hour forecast for the next day. And then at the end of the next day, I would go back and record what actually happened and then start comparing the two. So your 10-day forecast, you'll record out of the gate. That will not change. The 24-hour, you got to record once a day. And then at the end of the day, record the actual weather. The rubric for this works out like this: recorded the 10-day forecast or didn't. It's an easy 10 points. Recorded all of the required data for the 24-hour forecast: high, low, wind, precipitation, etc. And you get 4 points a day for recording everything. And then the reflection is worth 50 points. 10 points of it is your forecast office and area. 10 points is for discussing the 10-day forecast. Another 10 points for discussing the accuracy of the 24-hour forecast. 5 for the probability of precipitation, and 15 points for the 3 things you learned. I am going to stop the share. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, we're moving to the more project-based, let's just say the fun part of meteorology, what people think of when they think of meteorology, things like storms, tornadoes, hurricanes. And you might want to start keeping your eye on the Atlantic and some of the destruction the hurricanes have caused. And we're not out of hurricane season yet, because that is something we'll be talking about in a couple weeks. It's been great so far. Keep up the good work. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out to me.